So I was wondering, Hans, you had said that you are still kind of in the burlesque closet, as it were. And many of our viewers deal with being in the or coming out of the atheist closet, the LGBT closet. Can you foresee yourself coming out of the burlesque closet at some point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's kind of separated into different groups. Family being one, and then the other one being work. They both are fraught with two very different groups of peril.
Right.
One would assume maybe it's a phase or some sort of midlife crisis or whatever they want to call it, and would be concerned about how it might affect my professional life and all of that. And then the other one is an HR problem that maybe they don't need to find out about. That said, I do put one of my burlesque sort of side jobs on my CV and resume for BurleyCon, where I'm one of their operations managers.
Okay, of course.
It's just that they don't necessarily Google what BurleyCon means. They think it's some sort of muscle competition or something like that. And
or even if they knew what it was, you were in an operations position, not necessarily, you don't put on their performer.
Exactly. But it actually came up at work a couple of weeks ago. I had just come back from BurleyCon, and I said I came back from my vacation. I was really refreshed, and my boss asked, "So what were you doing up in Seattle?" And I said, "I was at a burlesque convention." And I said, "I was on my resume, so you can't, no takesies backsies now."
Right?
And I wasn't expecting my boss to then immediately in the meeting Google BurleyCon and kind of try to get a feel for what it was. But I described it and it went well. There were no problems. She was just like, I wouldn't even really know what burlesque is, which is something that a lot of people don't realize, or they think of the movie with Cher, and that's probably best, depending on really what the nature of the conversation is. That said, she does now know what burlesque is. I don't necessarily tell everyone about it, but at least from my perspective, I don't want to necessarily kind of like say, "Oh, hey, everyone, I take my clothes off," and I don't want to come off as some sort of, predator or something like that. So I have to be careful about how I come across. As for my family, I think they probably suspect or know more than they let on, but they just don't necessarily come out about it.
What a strange open secret.
It is, it is. Their son, the stripper, but, I have a great time. It's done a lot to fulfill me, and if they ever ask me about it, I'll be honest about it, open about it, and if it ever comes up or it's something that, it is something that I'm very proud of.
Sure.
How far I've come, how far I've gone along, and it's something that I never would have thought I would have done, and my friends who have followed me along this journey really notice a change in me, so I know my parents have noticed it, and...
A positive change?
Oh, absolutely a
good.
positive change.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I would think that it would not be a positive change, but just so the audience knows, it's a positive change.
Good call, yes.
I think it's one of those things, isn't it? Once you've been on stage in front of a few hundred people and got pretty naked.
Most of your clothes off.
Yeah. Hard to
It's
go
easy
back
to
to
be
just
fairly
life is normal.
confident about other things.
Yeah.
Nothing else is that scary or, I guess, vulnerable, really. So,
Which is funny you say that, because I used to be a cam girl, and so I am more comfortable and confident in front of the camera than I am behind the camera or outside in life. And so I can totally relate to that kind of dynamic of once you're in front of people and you've taken your clothes off and you've done some interesting stuff. Yep.
well, a lot of it as well is how you interplay with like an audience. So I used to hate making eye contact with people. Hated it. Like my friends would.
You're not like Ginger, like staring people down and
No, I mean,
aggressively making them uncomfortable.
It was
On
actually
purpose.
something my friends would make me do just to fuck with me for their own amusement. Scarlet Fury, shout out to her. But like after a while, like you get, when you're on the stage, there's less surprises for the most part. Like you're in control of the situation for however long you're on stage. So it's easier to be I don't know, more aggressive if you need to be or whatever else. But
Confident, assertive.
yeah, and I now no longer just look at people's foreheads, which is for those who don't like making eye contact. If you look at the eyebrows, nobody knows you're
More
not looking at
comfortable.
them.